Hey everybody, my name is you, and welcome back to Let's Play Nintendo Land. In the previous episode, we conquered the last of Metroid Blast for now, and in today's episode, we're conquering the last of the team attractions, the Legend of Zelda Battle Quest. I don't know why I kept calling these solo attractions in the past couple episodes, but we're not making those mistakes anymore because we're starting off on a brand new day. The sun is shining, the tank is clean, and we are getting out of... the tank is clean! The tank is clean! Alright then, so this right here, you may notice we have some additional players with us this time around. So a quick shout out to my awesome mother and sister for helping me record the footage for this. The reason why I wanted to do that in particular for this level minigame thing is the fact that this game actually has the gamepad screen demonstrated on the TV. And I don't know why they don't do this for the other minigames. That would have made recording this game so much easier. But you can see the gamepad screen on the TV at all times, so I don't need to go get like a super expensive capture card that I can't even buy anymore because Katsukity ran out of business. Rest in peace, Katsukity. But anyway, we're going to be talking about their different playstyles real quick. Well, first of all, let's explain how the whole minigame itself works. Legend of Zelda Battle Quest is a hack-and-slash adventure where the sword players are going to be taking care of the big enemies, while the gamepad player will be using the bow and arrow to act as a bit of a supporter. They will take care of any enemies that the sword players may have missed, or ones that they can't see because they're focusing on other bad guys or maybe somebody behind them. And as you can see right there, the bow and arrow player will also be able to fire cuckoos. The defeating the cuckoos will give everybody a heart because you all share a health meter. So you definitely need to work together to make sure that you're not trying to mess each other up or anything like that. We'll also see in a little bit later, probably in this episode, that the gamepad player will sometimes even start at a different point in the stage and work together to reach the bow and arrow, the sword player. So that's definitely something I wanted to demonstrate as well. My mindset for how this is going to work, first of all, this Legend of Zelda Battle Quest is only 9 stages long, not including extra stages. So we're going to be taking care of 3 of them per video. The first one, we're going to be demonstrating it like this, where we're going to have both the sword and the gamepad player on screen at the same time. Next episode will probably be gamepad only, and then the last Battle Quest episode will be sword only. That's my mindset right now. It might change. I don't exactly know. I would prefer if we'd all be able to record this together the entire game. But they have their own busy schedules, so we can't always record together. So going back to the gameplay real quick, how the sword player controls is, it's just like in the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Use the Wii Remote Plus to swing your sword, and the gamepad player uses the motion controls to aim, and using the right thumbstick to fire the arrow, and use the gamepad motion controls to aim downwards to refill your arrows. If you're going for Master Rank, this area could be particularly evil to take care of if you're playing only with the bow and arrow. It's very easy with the sword, but with the bow and arrow, you have to be careful. We got the Triforce, and we mastered the stage! One thing that I don't really care that much for about Battle Quest is this minigame uses the Wii Remote Plus, and that's amazing and all, but for some reason you still have to point at the screen to start it. Isn't the whole point of the Motion Plus to, make the sensor bar obsolete? This is my personal opinion. It's a bit of a nitpick, and it made setting up the recording for this a little bit tricky because we were in a bit of a cramped area. We were in a bit of a small room to record this gameplay. So that certainly wasn't a fun experience. But anyway, as you can see right here, the bow and arrow, something that's very well worth mentioning is that the sword player, because they're likely going to be ahead of the gamepad, they will be able to call out if there's an archer in the area. They can hold their shields up while the archer player catches up and takes them out for them, so they don't have to risk losing hearts and losing the master rank. I'm not going to be going for every master rank in Battle Quest because I don't really feel like it, to be honest. It's all basically the same. Don't lose any hearts when you get to stages. If you're playing only with the gamepad, good luck. Some of these levels can be absolutely brutal with only the gamepad. Even if it's just a sword, it's pretty difficult as well. So if you're going for master rank, you probably want to have your teammates with you. That's just my personal suggestion for completing this. Something else that's pretty worth mentioning is you can see it on my sister's B character. The sword players can have a charge attack, where they hold the sword in a certain direction, and then after they charge it up for a moment, they'll be able to do a spin attack. This is great because they'll be able to throw off enemies and do extra damage, and they can even break wooden shields, so this is very well worth mentioning. The archer can do this too. Hold down the thumbstick. I don't mean like clicking the button down, I mean moving the thumbstick in a certain direction. I like moving it downwards because it makes it kind of feel... I hate using this term, but it makes it feel more immersive. I don't like using that term because it's something that happened in my college. I'll probably explain that in a future episode. Or after this boss fight or whatever. Alright, I'm going to try to get the story out of the way real quick. The reason why I don't like using the word immersion is because in my college, we had a class, Introduction to Gaming, where on the first day we were told to make a list of what we consider good gaming design. Somebody used the term immersion to describe what makes a game good. The teacher didn't like that because it's too broad of a term. There's a lot of things that go into making a game immersive, so she didn't allow it. So throughout the rest of the term, everybody in that class hid the word immersion inside our projects. Like, I hid the word on a poster in a room that I made in my 3D modeling class. And it was just a really fun time. I really love the little dance they do at the end of the levels. It's just so cute. Going back to the archer real quick. Well, first of all, like I said earlier, as you can see right here, the two players, the archer and the sword fighter, are starting off in different places. So this is something that's very well worth mentioning. And as you can also see on the gamepad player, they can charge up the arrow by holding the thumbstick for a short time. This can also break wooden shields, and is very well worth mentioning if you're going for master rank, or if you're trying to get a good time in time attack. Time attack is something we'll take care of way later in the Let's Play. And as you can see right there, the gamepad player can fire arrows at the bombs to wipe out those enemies before the sword players can even reach them. That being said, though, bombs can also hurt the other players. So you definitely want to be careful about this, and I don't remember if it was on this take or failed recording because we actually failed this level. We had to start this one over. But my mother, who was controlling the gamepad player, fired the arrow at the bombs when I was standing next to them, and we took a lot of damage. It was pretty fun. This game can get pretty chaotic, which can make for some pretty great family nights. So this is a pretty great party game. I really would love to see something like this on Nintendo Switch. Because as great as the Switch is, it's kind of missing that one big party game. Like, Super Mario Party can probably be classified as that, but you don't have something like Nintendo Land or Wii Sports to really sell as your big fancy party game or anything like that. I mean, you do have 1-2 Switch, but that game just doesn't have enough content to really be that big party game that you're going to bring over to your friend's house and play with your family for months and months on end. So that's just something that's I really hope they would do, make a proper party game. That's just my personal opinion. A fun memory I really have with this game. This was one of the only Wii U games we had for a pretty big chunk of time because, let's just say, early Wii U days weren't that great. There weren't really a whole lot of games released during the early Wii U era. You could argue the entire lifespan of the console, but particularly within the first year, there just really wasn't that many games. So we only had really Nintendo Land and Epic Mickey the Power 2 for the longest time there. I beat Epic Mickey 2, didn't really like it that much, but we played Nintendo Land like pretty much every day for months, and we never got tired of it. We still frequently play it today, even though we have a Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. So this is probably one of my personal favorite party games ever, and it's a big reason why I wanted to make videos for this game. So as we go through this area, there is one more thing that I would like to say about the gamepad player. I'm pretty sure I touched upon this a little bit, but basically, the gamepad player, while it is great for off-TV play, it's also a bit more difficult to play only with the gamepad, because there are going to be a lot more enemies grouped around you, and actually something kind of funny. If your party dies, then there'll be a skull right there that will give you an extra heart. That skull will be located where the last party member was standing. You all share hearts, so even if one person was completely fine the entire time, if somebody else completely dies, then you lose the entire minigame. But now, as soon as my sister's character makes it into the room, we'll be taking care of a new boss fight. We got 2 bokoblins right there, and a moblin. I think that's what their names are, but Nintendo likes to change these characters' names every other game, so maybe I'm completely wrong about that. A detail that I really like is the fact that you can see the stuffing kind of come loose as the enemies take more damage. That's just a really cute detail, if not a little bit gruesome, but it's not gruesome because these are obviously toys and they're just so cute and I love the art style in this game. But now that we've taken care of all that, we're bringing this video off here, so thank you all so much for watching this episode of Nintendo Land. Next time, we'll be playing it through a couple more stages with the gamepad archer. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and next time, maybe gear to you. Oh yeah.
Lovely. Choo choo. Choo choo. Choo choo. Char. 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 Goofy. 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 Big Moblin. Big Moblin.